There we go. Hi, Heather. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
I hate that we have to meet under these circumstances, but I appreciate you seeing my message and responding to me yesterday. Everybody has been praying for you and your family. How are you doing?
I'm doing.
Your sister has been missing now for 1 week. 1 week ago was the last time. When was the last time that you spoke to her?
We were texting on Messenger. Her last one she sent me was at 6:45 p.m. and that was just her replying to my conversation earlier that day, which I know that was her.
Right, at 6:45 p.m. And we know, can you explain this ping, that the last ping was around 7:30 p.m.?
Yeah, 7:32 p.m. Was when her phone was shut off.
By shut off, is it believed that it was powered completely down?
Well, just like my Life 360 app just said, it was no location or phone turned off. Last location or phone turned off.
Like the 360 was turned off. Okay. I want to go over this timeline because we have some new folks in here. And we have a lot of people who have come in here through just being in the same town.
Yeah.
Knowing mutual people. At 9 p.m., I'm confused about the 9 p.m. era because it said that she was last seen at her home at 9 p.m.
That's what Vinny told the cops.
Okay,
but then the story that he told the reporter, he said that he woke up at midnight and smoked a cigarette with her on the balcony. So that is a lie.
So he's already changed his story. I'm taking notes.
Yes, many times.
He's already changed his story. I wanted to clear that up because one of the flyers does say that she was, and I wanted to make, because that was confusing to me. Because I talked to, and I've done a lot of these cases where they will shut off the 360 or shut down the phone completely. And it's probably 30 minutes to an hour of that time frame that something happened drastically as far as a fight is concerned. Can you tell me how many are the police? Are they really helping with the searches? How are they acting? Are they being helpful?
Yes, they are. They really haven't told us much information, but we are headed there now to exchange what we have and what they have so far. They called me this morning. So they haven't found her, but they want to give us what they know, and we'll tell them what we know. Which they were posted up yesterday, where the video of where the truck was pulled off. They had helicopters, dogs. They said they were at the location where the truck was stuck. There was a path that was walked like 100 to 200 yards, and then it completely stops. And that is the only evidence that they have. That video, which is why they got the search. They had one out there yesterday.
Yeah, as it stands right now, I want to get there and talk.
How did the dog react? Did it give any kind of scent notification?
We don't know nothing about that. I'm sure that is what they're going to tell us today.
We're not even the Middleburg yet.
Gio was asking about possible blood that was found in the truck. Do you know anything about that?
I guess Vinny told the reporter that the cops told him that they found blood evidence, or they seen blood in the back of the tailgate. Yeah.
Why would he say that?
Exactly.
This guy, I have to tell you, I have a friend who's a private investigator, a licensed private investigator, who lives about an hour from Bloomsburg. It happenstance that she lives so close. And she knows mutual people. And now she has sent me almost everything on Vinny, and this guy has a major rap sheet.
Oh yeah, he does.
he is not good news in the town from what I understand. Had Katelyn talked to you prior about any kind of domestic violence situations between them?
Oh, he's beat her. He's pepper sprayed her, broke her ribs. They've been together for like 3 years, and he's always beat her. That's why she's always back and forth from home and down here. She just recently bought this house with him June 9th. She has an apartment in Lewistown she bought 2 months prior to June 9th, which she still has there and still stuff there.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting to me.
He actually came in.
Go ahead. Is the house in their name, in her name, or both of their names?
Both of their names. They just bought this house June 9th or 13th. And he bought another house with his baby mama, his youngest baby mama, a month before this, which him and Katelyn were supposed to buy together. Because he's been back and forth between his one baby mama that's still alive and my sister, back and forth this whole last 3 years.
Would that be his second wife that left the domestic situation?
Yes. And I feel like she might have something to do with it because Katelyn, has showed me messages from her, and she said many times she wishes Katelyn was dead, blah, 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 so. And her name is Mal, and she was the same way. The way she treated Katelyn was the same way she treated Steph, which is Vinny's first wife that supposedly OD'd.
Mm-hmm. I'm without words here. What can you tell me about Stephanie? I've read a lot about her. I read her obituary. Do you think it was really an accident?
No. No, I don't.
Did you know Stephanie or anybody during that time?
Katelyn did.
She knew her.
Yeah, see, we've known Vinny. Katelyn and I are best friends with his sister Brittany since we were like in middle school, and that's how Katelyn met Vinny.
The reason I ask that is because I'm working on a case called Where is Bradley Strassner? And a lot of the police, that was botched because they have an opinion of him, of what kind of past he had. So they would just want to write it off. So that's why I was asking if you knew if Stephanie had a history of the street pharmaceutical use. We have to say different words here, but yeah.
See, and then we also had the thought, like my sister has always said, that Vinny gets away with everything. Like the house that was burnt down, he got the insurance money for that. He gets away with everything. And then when we first went to the local cops, it's like they wanted to do nothing until it got on the news and we were reaching out. So we don't know if like he's a paid informant and the local cops are like giving him info and he's moving her, or we just don't know.
I can tell you unequivocally, and I have a history, and people in the comments will tell you that I try not to say things out of my mouth unless I can prove it or it's been factual information passed to me. From my private investigator friend, confirmed yesterday through mutual friends that he, in fact, has in the past been an informant for the police department.
Wow. I believe it.
So, thank you, Dana. Thank you, guys. We have 15,000 likes and 123 souls in the room. You know what to do. Share this out and tap as you listen. He's been back and forth between the both for 3 years. Talking about the second wife and Katelyn.
Yep.
Do you know if anybody else talked to Katelyn on the day that she passed?
She only had 2 friends down here, and they've been helping us search the last 2 days. Female friends. I know of no male friends down here that she's had.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because the whole thing with the text message is off to me. And I had asked if maybe you had an example of how she writes, because it seems like people are saying it's broken up in the way that he speaks in his voice cadence.
Yep.
And it seems oddly to me that that someone would just leave everything and everyone behind over a few conversations with guys on Snapchat. Does this sound like something that he would come up with?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't put nothing past him.
Can I hear Katelyn is 31?
33.
33, okay. 33. And I was confused by this, so I want to clarify. How many children does she have?
She has 5 children. They do not live with her.
Okay. I was going to ask where the children are in the situation with that. So thank you for clarifying that. And he has...
Now, Benny has 2 children. He has 3. 2 that live with him, and then the one that lives with the crazy baby mama, Mal.
Right. Do you know Stephanie's first husband, who was talking about seeing him muddy the day that Katelyn went missing?
I don't.
I'm sure. I don't know if I've seen him or not.
How many acres? I heard that it was over 60 acres that they owned behind that house in the woods. Is that true?
That's what we were told, 32. But yesterday, the cops confirmed that there's only 4 acres of his that are his behind his house.
And has he given permission for those acres to be searched?
We don't know. Now, he did allow the cops to come into his house that first on Friday, but that was it. They were the local cops.
Local cops he allowed in the house, and I'm assuming that they didn't take anything to light it up with luminol. I mean, I do so many of these. I feel like a lot of the times we have to do the police's work for them, because they're not going to go out of their way. They're going to do what's expected on paperwork, and then they're going to move on to the next person. So, and a lot of them are corrupt. There's corrupt cops in every single. There's not a case that I've not done where there's been corrupt cops. So I totally believe that he's an informant. I believe that this is a small town. How many people are in Bloomsburg, or is it small or big?
I think it's pretty big. I'm not. I don't know for sure.
Pretty decent population.
Okay. Usually in the smaller towns, the smaller the town, the bigger the corruption. Shelley says it's 40 minutes away from her. And Taylor says you got to build the case and hand deliver it to them nowadays with a bow on top. And I've learned to what questions to ask. You always want to start at the house and then expand your search out. Now, I saw yesterday that you had volunteer searchers, but then the search was called off. Can you tell us why?
Yes, because we have no more leads on where to look.
And also with the cops saying.
That we could.
We were going to wait to see what information they had.
Save us all the hassle.
To
save us hassle from going to other locations that aren't even a possibility.
Okay.
We should get that information now, like today.
13,000. That's small. That's pretty small. The Appalachian town I grew up in has about 15,000, so that's pretty small. Wow. I agree with them giving you a better perimeter, but at the same time, what I would go when you're going to talk to them this morning, I would ask, number one, can we have permission to search the 4 acres behind the home? Start there, start from the home and go out. And if they don't give you dogs, try to find somebody who you can independently have come out that has dogs. That's what happened in the Sebastian Rogers case I covered. That people brought their own dogs, and a lot of volunteer people who train these dogs will bring them too. You can let them guide you, I guess is what guidance I'm giving, but don't let them control the reins.
Right.
I heard that he said, oh, thank you for that, Lethal. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the start. I heard that he said that she has left before. Is that true?
Yeah, whenever he was beating on her, she would come back home. Many times.
But she's never left her phone, everything,
right.
children,
she would never,
family.
Yes. She would never, ever leave her car or her phone. She never went anywhere without her car.
Right. That's what I'm not, that doesn't make any sense just over a simple Snapchat disagreement. Or it makes, when it starts to make zero sense and they start to make excuses. For example, in the Mamta Bot case, Naresh Bot said the same thing, that she left her baby, her phone, and everything. And they later found out that she was unalived inside the home. Will they, when you go, make sure that maybe we can do a second search on the home? His history enough that bringing $10,000 cash to court for a DUI, come on. The wreck, the burning of the house, all of his past, to me, is reasonable belief to get a search warrant. Ask them why they cannot initiate a search warrant. These are just things
I believe they have search warrants for his properties, but I think at this point they're trying to get search warrants for surrounding properties that aren't in his name.
Yes, I noticed it's a lot of trees and a lot of wood.
Oh yeah, he has so many properties. It's crazy. It's a lot.
Do you know any adjoining property owners? This is another thing I've learned that has cameras, door cams, street cams. Are there local businesses that you can go say, do you mind to take a look at your video from a week ago and see if you see his car driving by?
The police did say they were doing all that. Whether they are or not. Now we did walk around there Friday, and then we were up in the woods. The cops came because they said people seen us on their trail cams, and we didn't ask for permission, but we just went anyways. We didn't.
Can they check their trail cams for Vinny?
I guess Vinny says he has no trail cams. Vinny says he has no cameras. So the property behind his that does have cameras are not his property.
Do you think the owners would go back and review their footage from a week ago?
They were supposed to be doing this. The police said that they were.
They are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is just, I want to believe in the police, I really do, but I've not had a good history with reporting on them. So, right, Darla says, I don't trust the police. And Taylor says you can subpoena the trail cams if they don't bring them forward. So remember that these are all mental notes. When someone goes missing or something nefarious has happened, families want to go in and trust the police first off. But you have to be your own advocate, and you have to keep asking questions and keep pushing. Jessica Page Kemp, which just happened a few weeks ago, the police did nothing. Her family they found her on their own. Listen, I just got back from Massachusetts from covering the Karen Reed trial, and I have to tell you, the police are definitely I'm not saying there's bad cops. There's good cops. There's people who really care, but there's not enough of them to make a difference. They say also the police have interviewed all of her friends and co-workers. Has her friends and co-workers indicated anything from her stating that she felt like she wanted to leave?
I was also told last night that they went to Mal's property and she denied them to search her property, but the surrounding neighbors were allowing the police to search their property, but they had to go get a search warrant for Mal's property.
Okay. This is a red flag.
Yep.
A total red flag that the second wife who left because of the DV situation will not let the police search her property because of a DV situation. That makes zero sense. Total red flag.
And we did, from many mediums, there was a medium that reached out and gave us an address of a creek that's like within 10 minutes of Mal's house. We did go look there yesterday a little bit, but we didn't see nothing.
Does Katelyn have any friends in adjoining counties or somewhere that she would go to? But she would never, even if she went and hid, she would at least reach out to you, right?
Exactly. It's been a week now, yeah.
This is unprecedented. She doesn't have any.
Katelyn had many, many friends. She was such a free spirit. Her aura was so big. But she would never go. I look back over a year ago from Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, our messages. The longest she has ever went without me and her talking was a day and a half. And at that point, I never went. And the only reason why it went that long is because I knew she was posting stuff. I seen she was active. When I first noticed, she never replied and that her location was off. And then I seen she wasn't active on Messenger for 8 hours. At that point, I called the cops right away.
My heart is breaking right now because I think we know what has happened here.
Oh, I know. He killed her. I know he killed her.
Do you have any other siblings? Are you getting the support you need, the emotional support?
Yes, I am. And my parents are here listening to the live as well. We're driving down to the police station, so.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine. My son is 27, so I have children almost the same age. My heart is breaking for your parents. I hope they can hear me and know that I do this to give people a platform to use their voice. And they'll tell you in the comments that I could feel heartbreak and my heart's pounding right now because I feel like this is not a good situation. Getting the extra facts and the clearance from this interview, they have got to search her property. They got to search every property around there. Do you think?
Because when Katelyn keeps coming through to these mediums, she keeps telling them that close to home and that she can't believe that I haven't found her yet and that I was close to her. So that's why we're thinking either he's moving her and she was at a location that we were at and I didn't see her, or because she keeps saying that I can't believe Heather hasn't found me. Heather's going to be the one to find me. I'm so close.
God, this breaks my heart.
And I can hear her, I can feel her saying, Heather, I can't believe you haven't freaking found me yet. Trust your gut,
Jen wants to know who talked with her last. I suppose it would have been you.
Yeah.
And did she seem distraught when you spoke to her, or was it a normal conversation?
Yeah, it was a normal conversation, and it was her texting, because she was replying, because my son broke the TV earlier in the Oculus, and She asked me if my husband was mad about it, and I said, no, we have another TV we don't use. And she says, yeah, it is what it is. Fuck it, right? And I knew it was her, like. And then I messaged her Friday at 12:30. I said, hey, good afternoon. I'm at the pool with the boys. How's your day going? And it was by like 1, 2 o'clock. She never responded. I messaged Vinny. And before I messaged Vinny, I noticed her location was off and she wasn't active. When I messaged Vinny, he said, yeah, she got into a fight. She sent me this text message. When he screenshotted to me that, I knew it wasn't her. And that's when I called the police. I knew right away, right then and there, that she was gone. I don't feel her anymore. Like, I know. We all know. We're trying to be prepared, but it's not nothing you can ever be prepared about, but we know what we're looking for.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say.
And then for Verizon, Vinny, like, I was in contact with Vinny the first day or so, back and forth. He was acting like he was doing whatever he could. And he had went to the Verizon store, I said, because if she sent that text message, Verizon is going to have log of that. And he went to Verizon and he sent me the screenshot that Verizon showed him or whatever, and said that there was no log of that text message, which I knew there wasn't, because Life 360 would have updated when her phone would have been turned on to send that.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to pass who the people that I know, we talked about that messenger, excuse me. I'm going to pass along this story today and see if I can get News Nation or Nancy Grace to pick this up. Because the one thing that I notice happens when you put a lot of media heat under high-profile situations is that the police don't want to be caught doing whatever it is that they're doing. So
exactly.
They snap back into action a little bit quicker and a little bit better. They don't want.
I've reached out to FBI, like we've sent messages and stuff, but I haven't heard anything back. But they could have picked it up by now. I don't know. And the only reason why it was the DA signed it over to PSP in Bloomsburg is because they confirmed that Vinny wasn't where he said he was Friday. He told everyone he was going to counseling, and whenever that was confirmed that he wasn't there is whenever the DA signed it over to PSP.
What would he be going to counseling for, and with who?
Because he is on the methadone clinic. They both are. I'm going to be real with you. They were both going to the methadone clinic, and usually Katelyn goes to counseling, and she wasn't there that day, and he said he was going to counseling and that he would be back. And whenever he came back, he was all muddy, gone for hours. And his dad told Brittany this, and which is what Brittany told the police, and where we confirmed that he wasn't at counseling.
So another lie.
Yeah, my words may sound fucked up because I'm just all jambled, but and I've been saying things over and over and just, yeah.
Oh no, I'm taking all the notes and I'm going to put this all together in a story that the world needs to hear. Another lie. Oh, how that's so convenient for you, Benny. So what? I wish the police could really get him by himself in the police department in an interrogation room and say, where were you that day? What has happened? Thank you guys for the tags. Thank you. We have 34,000 likes and 150 souls in the room. I think your live is paused. That's okay. There you go. When you guys pull in, when you have to go, just say, hey, we're here. We got to go. I'll let you go because obviously that's most important. And I sent you my cell phone number too, and I'm here for you any day, anytime. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you have to call me. Thank you for tagging Dateline. Let's see who else. I met Vinnie Politan last week. Maybe I can send it to him on Court TV. Corey, thank you for tagging ABC News. And a lot of people have tagged a lot of the major media outlets in my comments. Hey, Jen, I have a mutual friend with Ashley Banfield. Fitz News, I've got a friend. I can get you on Fitz News. Send it to Benny. Okay, I'll get it over to the Vin. Thank you for tagging Court TV. Thank you. So it starts here. It starts here, right, with me and a little platform, and I try to move you along to bigger if we can get you on bigger ones. I've got a friend, Justin, who has millions of followers. I'll ask if you could come on his platform if you have time. I know that your focus is on the search and finding her. That's what's most important right now. But Benny cannot get away with whatever he has done here. He has a history of this, and I want to see justice happen for whatever has happened to your loved one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody else. I know we wouldn't be where we are right now, and we won't find her if it wasn't for everybody. And all the leads and everything.
I will put a clip of this interview on YouTube as well. And maybe it'll get some more views. I'm going to email somebody at Nancy Grace today because domestic violence in this country, which is the umbrella topic here. I'm known for covering the Micah Miller case, where John Paul Miller was a huge domestic violence person, in my opinion, and hid it under being a pastor. And I've talked to victims and advocates, and my mom is a DV survivor. And the one thing that they don't really do is talk to family. They might act like everything's okay, and that's why I ask about the last day, your last conversation, because they don't want to put the burden of the domestic violence on the family, and they want to keep making the abuser happy. And so it's got to stop. The cycle has to stop in this country, where we think it's okay to take someone else's life or make their life here on earth miserable. It's got to stop.
Yeah.
Thank you, Darla. Thank you for liking the live, guys. All right. Miss Heather, do you have anything else that you would like them to know about your sister or the situation?
No, I don't think I do. We'll be at the police station in about an hour, and hopefully we have something to where we can go off or start from there.
Okay. Message me with an update and what the police told you. If we have to do, you're welcome to come on this show. I go live on Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and Sundays. So really, but I can go live anytime. So if you have an update, you need to get a message out, you have new information you want to share, that's not going to hurt the case. And I respect boundaries, and a lot of times families can't talk about what the police tell them, and I totally understand that. But
yeah, at first, yeah.
Yes, keep your notes.
Yeah, at first, we had the video, before it was ever circulated, and when everyone was sending it to me, that's why I made the new post and said, yeah, I've had this since Tuesday, and that was the evidence that was the first evidence that the police had it,
Do they have the vehicle?
Yes.
Interesting. How long have they had it? Since Tuesday?
Since Wednesday, but now we were thinking maybe that was all a decoy and a setup to throw us off, so maybe it's another vehicle in question. And he did just sell the side-by-side, a Camaro, and something else yesterday. And I talked to the guy that bought them, and the police went and got the side-by-side and that stuff last night.
Okay. Yes, I have my friend, the private eye, sent me photos of the things that he was putting on Marketplace, and I was like, "You're kidding me!"
Yeah, how is he even able to he shouldn't even be able to sell anything? Why aren't the police that's one thing I don't understand. If he's always the spouse is always the first prime suspect, and they were just throwing him out right away because of the text, and she's 33 and she used to be on drugs, and it's like, you motherfuckers, like,
They want to do that.
That's why we believe that the local police is involved.
Yeah. But they'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. You think the police are here to protect and serve, but really, most of the time, they're protecting and serving their own agenda.
Yep.
I was just looking at this property here. This is a massive wooded area.
Massive. And even his other properties are massive.
Let me, I have to turn this background off so I can show everybody. I don't know if it'll let me or not.
Like, I honestly, I don't believe the state police are involved, but I just feel like the local police,
Look
are.
at that.
Because local didn't even want to hand it over to police because they had no evidence until they confirmed he wasn't at the clinic on Friday.
He's lying. He's trying to sell stuff. And he's trying to disassociate himself with the situation. He came back muddy.
Yeah, well, he told the police, or he told the people that bought this stuff that he was selling everything to leave state, and that night he was trying to get somebody to watch his kids. So then we were thinking, like, we didn't know if he would, like, put her body back to the house and burn the whole house and leave state.
He actually said the words, I was trying to leave the state.
Yeah, he said he was selling, the people that bought the stuff didn't even know about the whole situation until, like, the next day, and he told them that he was leaving state, selling all his stuff to leave state.
Throw down. I'm about to throw down right now. That man.
And Katelyn always told me that Vinny was so broke. He always got money and he was always willing and dealing, but he's broke. So then we weren't sure if he was really being paid by the local police. Someone reached out and said that he was being paid $10,000 a month from the local police for being an informant. But his net worth is like 1 million, people are saying, and stuff, like last year. But Katelyn was always saying he's so broke. Like, he's broke, but he always gets money and always figures it out, and is always buying properties and starting businesses. And
Bossman says they need to get his cell records and the second wife's phone records. They need to get hers too.
Yeah, they do. They do have his cell records because they told us yesterday they were following pins from it. And he did pin where the truck got stuck at that time. So that's why I think he didn't even take his phone with him, or that vehicle wasn't involved. Because his kids have phones too.
How many vehicles does he have?
A lot.
More than 5?
Yep.
They need to reserve every Sally port available.
And I think that's what they were doing. Like, they maybe realized we are, or maybe the police figured out that maybe the truck wasn't even involved, and that's why they went and got the property that was sold to the guy, and maybe going to get the other vehicles he has. Or what if it's like not his name? Like, what if he has a vehicle that's not in his name? And
right. This is the one, the possible decoy, but this is the one that the police.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And they have a black Denali, which when the mediums were coming through, they kept on showing a dark colored vehicle.
Where is that one at? Does he still have possession? Like,
yes, which I'm assuming yes, he does. I'm assuming maybe the police have already confiscated it. I'm not sure.
Megan says he could have on the side by side to go in the wooded area. This is the let me see. This is a white Denali right here. But this is, do you know a Curtis Harp? Is that his brother?
That's his brother, one of them, yeah. Which he is very close to. Which Katelyn has told me before, whenever she left one time, that Vinny and Curtis ripped her out of her hair, both Like, they were both pulling her out of the house by her hair.
Did she ever file a police report?
Never.
He would always talk her. Did she ever call?
Call the police? No, the only time the police were ever there is whenever she OD'd. And even that situation, he went on for like 20 to a half hour. She was already gray, put her into the shower, and then he ran down and told Curtis and Ingrid to come up. And then finally Ingrid called the cops, and they came and narked her twice.
Wow.
Yeah, Vinny went on. I guess it was like a whole 30 minutes. She was like ODing, and it was Ingrid that finally called the police.
Sounds like he was hoping that those minutes he was wasting, maybe it sounded like he wasted those on purpose.
Yeah.
Did Eva asked, did she tell her of abuse? So they're asking if she ever talked to you about the abuse that he was doing.
Oh yeah, many times. He's pepper sprayed her. Yeah. Even her counselor a year ago, when they were fighting, and she was worried he would break her phone, she was in there with her counselor, and her counselor sent me videos or pictures that Katelyn gave her of marks and bruises and him all fucked up on whippets. And I sent that to police, and Katelyn's counselor sent me them a year ago. Just in case if anything ever happened, we had proof, or if he broke her phone.
So the police would still have those photos on file?
Yeah, I still had the photos, and I gave them to them.
They're asking if there's an insurance policy.
We've thought about that, but I don't know.
And 487 Rustics, who is from the area, asked, where did he say he was when he came back muddy? What was his excuse for? He said he was looking for Katelyn. Is that right?
He told the cops he was looking for Katelyn. He told his dad that he left the shop that morning, said he was going to counseling. But he told the cops that he was going to look for Katelyn at her baby daddy's because he thought she was there. And that's where he got stuck, 2 minutes away from her baby daddy's. But see, Vinny's trying to pin it on her baby daddy. So we don't know if that's what he was trying to hide her body there to pin it on him.
But the one that he's trying to pin it on, do they have a solid alibi?
Oh yeah, we're good. That's where we are at his house because it's only 2 minutes away from where the truck was stuck. Yeah. He was the one that Katelyn called the one time. The state police called, his name is Wade. The state police called Wade one time, Katelyn and Vinny got into it to tell Wade to go pick Katelyn up at McDonald's because Katelyn didn't have a phone. The state police know of that situation. Wade would save her from Vinny. So Vinny was trying to say that Katelyn was there, and that's why he went over searching. She probably went to Wade, I was there looking.
They're saying look for side-by-side tracks. Did you go to the area where his truck was pulled out? Did you say you all searched kind of around that area?
Yeah, that's where the cops were posted up yesterday.
Okay. Kat says this is an hour from me. I have been praying. If you guys have questions, let me know in the comments. I'll kind of turn it over to y'all to see if you have anything that needs to be covered that you have questions about. This situation, every case is different, but they all have the same flow. They have a narcissist, abusive person, could be a man or a woman involved, and they try to control the narrative on their own. But some of them keep up with their own lies and some of them don't. Sounds like Vinny's having a problem here, keeping up with his own lies.
Yeah, yeah, we were up around there.
Tina says I keep getting mild down by the water. Deb said she needs to have his cell and her cell activity searched. So they have his, but I would bring up maybe looking at hers. Total red flag for her not to allow you to search the property, especially if you have survived a DV situation, right? You are now an advocate. You are now a voice. That doesn't make any sense to me. What else does she have to hide?
Yeah, we've been up through that road.
And remember, guys, look at the brother. Absolutely. Does Curtis have a history?
Yeah, they were
With
Just, I don't know.
And I want to
And I've only ever met Vinny maybe 5 times.
Tim had tips. Hold on. Nikki says, will you let my friend Tim and I in the box? I was talking to Heather and Tim had tips. Do you know Miss Nikki?
Yeah, I do. I've had so many messages I can't even remember. Like,
I don't know.
yeah, we've been, and everything that people have been sending me, they should, they themselves can send it to the police.
Yes.
You know, like, yeah.
Yes, and I always say this because a lot of people will put like, let me know or send me tips, and I always contact the police first and foremost, the FBI.
Yes.
Very first phone call you need to make. Doesn't mean that you don't need to keep in touch with the family or help them search or pass along the tips, but it's important that you give it to officials first, just for later. Just for legal records later, just for that purpose alone, to make sure everything's done in a legitimate manner.
Yeah, and like we're so like not drained, but when people reach out to the point.
I think we're losing you on the network there. Tim was yes, I know who you're talking about because I think I followed him last night. I think I saw him on a live talking about this, and I made sure I followed him because I saw that he was retired police, and I need somebody like that to help me talk about cases. So I followed him for that reason. What is the brother's full name? It's going to be Curtis Harp. Is he still working? I heard that he runs the plumbing business that was owned by his first wife's dad. That's who kept bailing him out of jail because he had to run the plumbing business. Is he still running that plumbing business? I think we've lost Heather's network. They might be driving in a place where it might be dropped, so let's give them just a minute. We're at 40,000 likes, 200 souls in the room. If you're just joining me, we're talking about the case of missing Katelyn Harp, who has not been seen since June the 19th, 2025. Vinny, her husband, is a super gem who keeps making mistakes. We lost Heather. We lost the network. That's okay.